Alright, so it might say, it'll start popping up down here if anybody joins us. Usually, hello. And I just start saying hello and I usually fix my hair. Hey guys, how are you doing? It's been a while since I've been on here. Hey there, how you doing? I recognize that name from before. I don't remember this. My name is Sarah. We are in the kitchen on this beautiful, almost fall day. I'm trying to get my camera set up so you guys can see what's going on. My name is Sarah and this is my SoSweet Kitchen. This is my niece Reagan. She's joining me today. She's been wanting to learn how to make caramels, and I made a lot of them last winter, like probably about 1,000 caramels. So I've kind of got it down pat now. And so to me, during the fall, when I think of fall, I think of apple picking and all things apple. And I love, love, love to bake with apples. And I came across this recipe for an apple cider caramel. So I'm gonna show you in just a second what I'm doing. First of all, I wanna thank you for joining the broadcast today. I know it's a Sunday afternoon and probably everybody's being lazy, but if you're joining me on the replay, thank you very much. Feel free to share the broadcast by swiping up or down and click share. You can share it on Facebook now. So I'm gonna show you real quickly how to make apple cider caramels. And a lot of people are scared of making candy. I know that I was to begin with. The first time I made caramels, I think my heart was just like pounding. It's like, I don't wanna burn them. This particular apple cider caramel recipe is pretty simple because you don't have to melt sugar to begin with. What you do is you take 4 cups of apple cider and you reduce it on the stove. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. This began as 4 cups of apple cider, and I have now reduced it down to, I'm looking for a 1/2 cup measure. Of course, you just eyeball that. It's not quite 1/2 cup. I'm going to turn it back up since you guys are on here. But it reduces down from the 4 cups of liquid into this wonderful flavor-packed syrup. And we're getting very, oh, there goes my thermometer. So we're getting very close to it. I'm going to tell you about my thermometer as well. This is a fantastic electronic thermometer that I found on Amazon. And I love it because it's pretty hard, if you're using this correctly, for you to make a mistake if you pay attention to what you're doing. I just realized that my temperature is not where it should be anymore. So what you do is you set your thermometer to the desired temperature, and then when it's within 2 degrees of where you want to be, it starts to beep, and then when it hits the temperature you want to remove your candy from the stove one, it beeps very quickly. Okay, so now my apple cider caramel is getting closer and closer to, probably pretty close to the 1/2 cup mark. So just imagine all that flavor and goodness in your apple cider is from 4 cups is now in a 1/2 cup. So it's just, it's amazing. And these caramels are, I mean, I promise you, if you make them, your friends will love you. Okay, so once it gets down to that 1/2 cup measure, I have already pre-measured 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream. And I added 8 tablespoons of butter, real butter, unsalted butter. I melted this in the microwave ahead of time so that it's a warm temperature. And what I'm going to do, Reagan, why don't you come and hold this so that they can see. Just okay. Now, what you want to do right there? That's good. You can come to the side if you want to look to see what you want to do when you add the cream. It usually is going to bubble up and spatter, and it can be quite an eruptive process. So just be very careful because it will burn you badly if you get this on your hand. It is that hot. Okay, so I'm going to add the cream butter, and I have 1 cup of white sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So I'm going to go ahead and start to add this now. All right, this isn't quite as eruptive as the regular kind. When I say regular, I'm talking about my vanilla bean caramels. There we go. Get in this a little bit closer. Bring the camera in, tilt it down, right over. Okay, so now I'm going to add the sugar. So this is 1/2 cup of brown sugar. There we go. And 1 cup of white sugar. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to break this up and stir it, and I'm going to keep an eye on my thermometer until it reaches 252 degrees. That is the magic number. Okay, let me stir this up here. Has anybody that's watching ever made caramels before? Talk to me. I like when people talk to me. And you can also tell me where you're from. I would love to hear where you guys are. Do you have a place to go and pick apples during the fall? Everybody's quiet. That's okay. All right, now you can see it's just like a nice gooey mess right now. Then I'm gonna make sure my temperature's set probably about a medium high. Oh, it smells so good. If you could only smell how wonderful this is. All right, make sure all my brown sugar is mushed up. Now this is gonna start to come back to a boil. It'll be a rolling boil. It gets pretty crazy in this pot. All right, I'm gonna let it just sit there for a minute. Now, when I do my other Periscope, I'll do that later on the vanilla bean caramels. Oh, what happened? Did it go bye-bye? Right there. It is a little bit different approach, but I will definitely go over that another time. I want to show you while that is coming up to temperature. It's at 200 degrees right now, and we want to get it to 252. And it's very hot, by the way. Okay, I have an 8x8 pan that I have lined with parchment paper. Parchment paper is one of my best friends, and I use it all the time when I bake. Now I have it very evenly put inside the pan, and the purpose of this is that once the caramels have hardened, you want to remove them from the pan to cut them. This makes it so much easier, and cleanup is basically you don't even have to clean the pan. I just will make one batch after the other. So I already have my pan prepared. All right, and we're up to 210 degrees. I also have a scant teaspoon of sea salt. I like the Fleur de Sel sea salt. And when we're done, this will go inside of the caramel, and then when the caramel starts to harden, I will sprinkle some on top of the caramel. And then, because it is apple cider, we also have a half teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm using Vietnamese cinnamon that I got from King Arthur Flour. I love King Arthur Flour. I get a lot of my baking products from them, and I just can't say enough about them. They're awesome. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let you see what the mixture looks like now. You can see how bubbly it is. Can you see that? There you go. And we're at 236 degrees. Once the temperature starts to increase, it goes pretty quickly. So it is very, 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 very important that you are not being distracted when you get to this point. See, we're already at 242. We'll put this up. I think when we get ready to take them off, I'll already film it. Because if you go past the point, you're past the point of no return, and your caramels are going to be hard to drop. So once I get to that 252, I'm going to remove them from the heat. I'm going to add the salt and then the cinnamon, pour it into the pan, and then all we have to do is wait for them to harden, which is very hard to do because they're so amazing. All right, we're at 248. So you hear the buzzer. That's letting me know I'm getting very close to my 250, or you can go ahead and hold the camera if you want to. 251. Oh! This is the nerve-wracking part. 252. All right, don't forget to turn your temperature off on the stove. Add the cinnamon. Add the salt. And please, please remove your thermometer. One time I did not remove mine, and when I went to pour the caramels, I burnt myself with 250 degree boiling caramel. It was awful. Awful, awful, awful. Luckily, I had my lavender essential oil that I had not had for too long. I did a little research on the internet, and I put a few drops of lavender neat right out of the bottle onto my finger, and I was amazed. It never hurt, and it just did the absolute trick. Okay, hold it up a little bit higher. Look down into the bowl. You can see how yummy it is. Now you want to quickly pour this into your pan, your prepared pan. I mean, really, what took the longest was I reduced the cider, of course, before I started the broadcast. So that took a little while, but it was maybe 20 minutes. It really depends on how high you're boiling the apple cider. I'm not gonna lie, I like to leave a little in the pan so I can taste it later. It has a nice glossy sheen to it. Let's see if you can see that. I don't know if you can see how shiny it is. And this is it, guys. That's caramel. So we're gonna let them sit here. I do not have the time, obviously, to wait for them to completely cool. When probably about 20 minutes, or when you see they're starting to harden, I like to sprinkle the sea salt on top of them. If you're in a hurry and you want to expedite the process, just pop them in the refrigerator. And if your home is very warm, you might want to refrigerate them. They will keep for up to a month in the refrigerator but believe me, they will not last a month at your house. And then the, yeah, you might want to take it off that. Thank you, it's so hot. You can keep them at room temperature for 2 weeks. So I have little wrapping papers that I ordered, and I cut them into like about a 1-inch square, individually wrap them. They are amazing gifts. People love them. Teachers' gifts. I actually sold them last year, and they're fun and they're yummy. So you can have a wonderful little taste of fall in every bite. So thanks for joining, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.